Good morning to all of you. As all of you know that we are continuing the same current affairs series to our smart study classes, okay, for UPSC aspirants. So we will do with today's topic of current affairs, okay. Yesterday I have covered one topic related to the current affairs series. Today right now I am taking and picking up two important sections of art and culture. It's really an important one regarding when we talk about preliminary as well as main subject, okay, because in mains art and culture plays really an important role, okay. That is why I am covering the whole current affairs in such a way that all the things, all the topics of preliminary and even as well as mains, both will be covered in a same page, in a same way, okay. That's why we are dealing with the current affairs series, okay. So now I am moving to the our next slide, and that will see something the details about that which of the topic I am going to teach it right now, okay. So let's see and we focus here. As you can see that today our topic related with current affairs, that is current affairs related to art and culture. Art and culture doesn't means I am teaching about the history, ancient, medieval or modern. It doesn't mean at all, okay. Whenever you will pick the UPSC preliminary as well as a mains questions relating to ancient and medieval history, the most of those questions actually related with art and culture to the history section, okay. Because UPSC from last 5 years generally it is the trending of the UPSC examinations for civil services, that is UPSC will not ask direct question related to ancient and medieval history. Instead of that, what UPSC actually do that, they actually pick up the art and culture, okay, art and culture section from ancient and medieval history. That's why I am covering all these topics. So today you can see that here current affairs related to art and culture, and I will cover two important topics, okay. So let's see, don't waste the time, and let's see what is our first topic. So moving to the next slide. Now you can see that today our first topic, that is about Konark Sun Temple. I hope that all of you have heard about it, this temple. One of the famous temple all over the global level, okay. Instead of not in India, instead of that all over the global level, this temple that is situated in Odisha, it's so famous that it's related with totally a sun, God's son, okay. The religion Hindu actually termed and maintained there the god as the sun god, okay, sun god. So Konark Sun Temple we will deal some facts, okay, some historical backgrounds, some dynasty that which kings actually ruled over the Odisha on the phase when Konark Temple was actually built up. So I am moving to the next slide, and that will tell you that here are the ritual facts, okay, ritual and actual facts. Ritual means, I hope all of you know that ritual means that actually it is related with Hindus. So Hindus practicing their religion according to some of the rituals that they have followed, okay. So now moving to the next slide. Now be focused here. Let's see. I am reading each and every words, and be audible. I hope I am audible to all of you. So let's see. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. This ministry may look very new to all of you, but be remember about this ministry. This is so important for the maintaining of all the heritage sites that present in India. Even all the UNESCO World Heritage Sites that present in India throughout all over the states of India, actually they are maintained by this kinds of ministry. So if you have not heard about this ministry, then now it's time to remember this ministry, okay. So the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, okay, MNRE, fine. M Ministry, New, N, Renewable means R, and Energy means E. So its short form is MNRE, okay, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. So actually MNRE, this ministry has taken up the complete solarization, okay. Actually this is a so historical temple presented in and situated at the location of Odisha, okay. But see, solarization of temple means what? This is a temple itself that's totally related with sun, okay, sun. It doesn't mean it, the solarization doesn't mean with sun temple, okay. Solarization means actually see what here, today are days with science and technology, and earlier time was traditional thinking. So since it is a sun temple, so the government of India thought that if we solarize this temple, solarize means a solarization, okay, the solar energy, okay, don't waste the electricity, just install the solar energy, and now see the dots, See, the traditional thinking, the traditional rituals about that temple is about the sun temple, and sun is the god of light, okay, for the Hindus religion. So government thought that just link the traditional things and the science and technological of the new modern era to link up both those things, okay. So to link up both those things, that's why the government of India had launched this program. The Ministry of MNRE actually launched this program to combine both these sections, that is solarization, okay. By solarization, even this temple and surrounding to this temple, the whole energy will be uploaded by the solar energy, okay. So let's see, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has taken up the complete solarization of Konark Sun Temple in Konark town in Odisha. Actually, there is a town in Odisha that named as Konark, okay. Konark temple has been named not by this town, that is Konark town, okay, it's not named, but there is a town situated in the Konark town in the state of Odisha, okay. In the same town, Konark temple has been established, okay, has been well maintained till now, okay, fine. So the MNRE ministry actually has taken this step, the government of India has taken this step through MNRE to complete the whole solarization, okay, to complete the whole light up by the solar energy to initiate this kind of thing. This is not the first time that solarization has been beginning for the, okay, solarization has been beginning for any temple. Apart from this, earlier solarization has also been begin with a temple, sun temple in Gujarat too. So we will see all of those sections, but till now I hope this slide has been clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see what I was telling you right now about the Gujarat Sun Temple, okay. I will tell you the cover explanation, the whole thing about that temple, because I have told you the first time that this is not the Konark temple of Odisha which is going to solarized by MNRE. This is not the first temple. Before this temple, one temple also has been solarized, that situated in Gujarat, okay. So what is actually about the facts related to that temple? So let's see. In March 2020, see, I am covering this current affairs in May 2020, May month 2020. So the news which is getting right now by me through you, okay, is May 2020 about Konark temple. But before May, 2 months or 3 months earlier, in March 2020, the MNRE, this is the ministry undertaken by the government of India. So this MNRE had announced solarization of the Sun temple in Modhera in Gujarat. Modhera is a place in Gujarat, okay. So there is a Sun temple also situated in Modhera in Gujarat state. So before initiating this process about the Konark Sun temple in May 2020, before it, almost 2 or 3 months earlier, the MNRE, that is covering under the and working under the government of India, Union government of India, has launched this program, okay, to solarize the Sun temple of situated in Modhera, that is in the state of Gujarat, okay. So a question, preliminary question may come that Konark Sun temple is the first temple in which solarization has been begin through MNRE. So it is incorrect, okay. UPSC is not going to ask you that Konark temple is located at which place. No, not at all. UPSC will ask indirect questions like I have repeated it again, that it is the Konark Sun temple in which the solarization program is firstly being initiated by MNRE. So is it correct or incorrect? It's incorrect, because the Sun temple located in Modhera place at Gujarat has been the first one which is actually being the process of solarization throughout the government of India by the ministry of MNRE. So I hope it is clear to all of you this slide. So I am moving to the next one. Okay, fine. Till now I hope all the slides have been covered to all of you. Stay with us, I will cover the whole things. Now let's see. While the Odisha project is expected to receive 100% fund, Odisha project means the project which is related with Konark Sun temple, okay. This is situated in Odisha, that is why I have maintained here Odisha project, okay. So if any kind of project happen, even NHAI, National Highway Authority of India, if any roads NH will be constructed in any of the states, then it is not the union government which is fulfilling the 100% fund, okay. It is not the means Ministry of Road and Transportation, no. almost some of the funds will also be set up by the state government. Okay, that's why a toll tax is being collected. Fine. So in the same way, what actually happened in the Sun Temple situated at Modhera place in Gujarat, 50% of the fund, see, solarization of the Modhera Sun Temple that is situated in Gujarat, 50% of that fund for the solarization will be funded by central government and 50% will be funded by the government of Gujarat, a state government of Gujarat. But instead of that, apart from that, with the project of Odisha, that is solarization of Konark Sun Temple is fully 100% funded by central government. So this is really a special one and really a separate. Okay, if in interview anyone can ask you if your option is history, then it may possible, and if your option is not history, then it may possible that interviewer will ask you that it is the ongoing project in Odisha related with a Konark Temple, Konark Sun Temple. Then what can you differentiate between the solarization of Konark Sun Temple and the Modhera Sun Temple? So can you differentiate it? So yes, you can differentiate it, that it is the Modhera Sun Temple which is actually been initiated for the solarization. Only after Modhera Sun Temple, then the steps has been taken for Konark Sun Temple. Okay, and another difference is in Modhera Sun Temple, the fund is being 50% granted by the central government and 50% by the state government. But unlike the Modhera Sun Temple, in the Konark Sun Temple solarization project, the 100% fund will be given by the and guaranteed by the central government. Okay, the Ministry of MNRE. Fine. So I hope this slide is saying the same thing what I am telling you right now. So I hope till now all the slides have been covered to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see what is actually mean about this slide. See, Odisha actually which is the authority which is implementing. See, actually it is the MNRE, Ministry of MNRE, which will provide money, which will provide fund, and MNRE is under the government of India. This ministry is under the Union Government of India. So see, MNRE has launched this program, but it is ultimately the someone like the Namami Gange project has been going on throughout the towns and districts, okay, on the situated on the banks of river Ganga, Namami Gange project. So it is also been launched by government of India. So there will be some agencies, okay, who will taken up and implementing, who will construct under which authority this will be constructed. So the authority is MNRE, but who is the agency, okay, who is the company or who is the agency who will actually implement this program? Okay, so now focus here. Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency, Odisha Renewable Development, okay, Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency, OREDA, in short form you can see OREDA, okay, Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency. It is the agency will be the implementing power, implementing agency of this project. Which project? Either Modhera project or Konark Sun Temple project. So it is for the Konark Sun Temple project. So a preliminary question may come that it is Odisha Renewable Energy Development Agency which is implementing the solarization program in the Sun Temple of Modhera, Gujarat. So you may get confused. That's why I am telling the whole things again and again. Okay. So be focused here. Okay, that OREDA short form OREDA will be the agency, and this is the agency of particularly a state agency. This is not a national based agency, this is a state based agency. Okay, so this is a state based agency, and it is the OREDA is the agency which is actually the agency which is implementing the solarization program in the Konark Sun Temple. Fine, so I hope this slide is clear to all of you. So can I move to the next slide, students? So I am moving to the next one. So focus here. So this topic is over right now. Okay, I hope I am not consuming more time. Okay, fine. So the earlier topic has been clear to all of you. Okay, so I hope time has been left till now. So I am covered another subject. Okay, another topic. This is also related with art and culture. Till now I have covered about the Konark Sun Temple. Okay, so I am repeating the whole things again so that you can revise the whole things again. Fine. So I am moving to the previous slides, the earlier slides. Okay, So moving to the earlier slides. Okay, go to the earlier slides. The first slide. Okay, the first slide. Okay, move to the next slide. Yeah, see, I am doing it for the revision of in just 3 to 4 minutes. See, there is a sun temple situated in the Konark town in the Odisha. Okay, so idea behind to connect the dots between traditional and new era technological science and technical. For this kind of technological and traditional combination, the government of India has given the power to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, okay, has given the power and given the fund to solarization, okay, to provide the solar energy, to provide solar power plant, okay, to establish a solar power plant that will facilitate the Konark Sun Temple, okay. So ultimately it is the MNRE, and tell me which is the implementing agency. Tell me which is actually the implementing agency who will solarize this Konark Sun Temple. It is the agency which is the OREDA agency, okay, OREDA, that is a company agency of particularly a state of Odisha. So this MNRE has taken up this step for the solarization of Konark Sun Temple. Okay, Konark Sun Temple is situated in Konark town in Odisha. So moving to the next slide, and I will revise the whole things. Now let's see. So I have already told you that this is not the first temple in which this solarization program has been conducted. Before it, 2 or 3 months earlier, in March 2020 itself, okay, there is a sun temple situated in Modhera, means Modhera is a place in Gujarat. So there is a sun temple situated in Modhera in the state of Gujarat. So 2 or 3 months earlier, the government of India has first time thinking and starting its project, Modhera project, okay, to solarize this sun temple. So Konark Sun Temple is not the first temple which is going to be fully solarized. Okay, so remember these kinds of facts. So I'm moving to the next slide. It's so important one, that's why I'm revising the whole things. Otherwise you will get confused. See, I've told you that there is a sun temple in Modhera, okay, Modhera, and Modhera is where? It is in Gujarat. So in Modhera Sun Temple, the solarization will happen, but 50% fund will be guaranteed by a state government and 50% fund will be guaranteed by central government of India. Okay, but unlike this project, Modhera project, in Konark Sun Temple project, the fully funded will be central government of India, means all the 100% fund for the solarization program of Konark Sun Temple will be given and guaranteed by the central government, that is the Union Government of India, through the MNRE, okay, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. And who is the implementing agency? Tell me again. It is the OREDA. So I'm moving to the next slide. I hope till here the revision has been completed. Timing, okay. So Odisha Renewable Energy, it is OREDA, which I am taking the name, okay. The full form of OREDA is Odisha Renewable Energy Developing Agency, okay. Developing agency means development agency, you can say anything, but remember the short form OREDA, it will help you a lot. So OREDA will be the implementing agency for this project. OREDA is not the implementing agency for the project situated in Modhera, okay. It is not the agency, it is only the agency for the Konark Sun Temple solarization project. It is not the agency for the solarization of the Modhera Sun Temple project, okay. Don't confuse in it, otherwise you will miss 1 mark. So I am moving to the next slide. See, till now I hope the first topic is clear to all of you. I have completed the whole things about Konark Sun Temple, okay. And not only that, apart from that Konark Sun Temple, now some other facts related to Konark Sun Temple, okay. Some of the other facts, okay. The main things, the main highlighted things of the news, the current news I have completed. But now I will cover some of the different facts related to Konark Sun Temple, okay. Because it is possible that UPSC will not ask direct questions related with current affairs. Instead of that, UPSC will ask some historical backgrounds related to the current affairs. So now I will cover the Black Pagoda. Have you heard about Black Pagoda? Okay, if not, then you will hear right now. It's Black Pagoda. So what is Black Pagoda? Okay, it is also related with Konark Sun Temple, but it is historical background a little bit. That's why I have separated the current events about Konark Sun Temple and the historical backgrounds of some of the different kinds of historical facts related to Konark Sun Temple. So you will know right now that what is Black Pagoda and how it is related with Konark Sun Temple. Okay, remember this name, Black Pagoda. It is itself a question and given by UPSC. It may possible that Black Pagoda is, and 4 option will be given. Okay, that it is a Indian Navy ships, or it is a joint Navy mission. Okay, joint army mission. Okay, or any kind of partnership. Fine. So remember these kinds of facts and remember this kinds of name, that what is Black Pagoda. You will get that what it is actually. I will tell you the whole things, but right now moving to the next slide, so that what is actually Black Pagoda, that will be clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. See, today means right now, actually the Sun Temple, I am talking about Konark Sun Temple. Okay, right now I am not talking about Modhera Sun Temple. Whatever I will talk now, temple, that is Konark Sun Temple, remember it. So today the Sun Temple of Konark is located 2 kilometers away from the sea. As all of you know that Odisha, the town that is Konark. Okay, Konark. Okay, Konark town actually is located on a coastal area. Coastal areas means areas beside the sea. Areas, okay, the banking areas of seas are termed as coastal areas. Fine. So Konark town is actually a coastal area. So today, right now, at present time, the Sun Temple of Konark is currently located 2 kilometers, just 2 kilometers away from the sea. Okay, from the sea, Indian Ocean. Okay, Hind Mahasagar, Indian Ocean. So 2 kilometers away from the sea, but it was not earlier times. It is not the situation. Okay, it is not the situation. Earlier, the location of Konark Sun Temple was actually it was much closer. Right now it is 2 kilometers away from which one? The sea, that is the Indian Ocean, Hind Mahasagar. Fine. But earlier in ancient times, actually this Konark Sun Temple, okay, was much closer to which one? Much closer to sea. So the temple was used, actually I am need some water. Okay, fine. So in the actually in ancient times, this was much closer to the Indian Ocean. Okay, so the temple was used as navigational point. Navigational point means, see, if this is a sea, okay, this is a sea, fine, ships are traveling through these ships, this sea, okay, Indian Ocean Sea, and suppose here is a town, that is Konark town. Okay, it is a Konark town, ships, seas, Indian Ocean Sea, just assume it, here it is Konark town. So earlier Konark temple was much closer to the landing area of this sea. Okay, that is why these ships travel to this ocean. That is why it is landing point of that ship. That is why it is called as navigational point, from where ships also start, like ports. Okay, ships also start. By which one? By European sailors. In the British India, actually it is ultimately the European sailors, not the Indian sailors. So European sailors actually used this point as the navigational point. Navigational point means landing the ships and starting the arriving of the ships and departure of the ships. So it is the navigational point. Okay, so earlier times sea was much closer, but as all of you know that due to some geological things, okay, geographical things, there is some change in nature. That is why right now it is not much closer. This temple is not too much closer about the sea, but right now it is 2 kilometers away from the sea. Fine. So I hope this is clear to all of you. This is some historical backgrounds, not the current one, but it may ask by the UPSC. Okay, and UPSC may ask that it is navigational point used by the Indian sailors. It may come, but that is not by the Indian sailor, that is by the European sailors. So I hope till now it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Okay, now let's see. They refer to it as the Black Pagoda. Who referred? They means who? Tell me, have you analyzing it or not? If not, then you are not going to qualify it at all. Okay, they means European sailors. because it is ultimately the European sailors which is using this sea part, okay, this coastal area as a navigational point. So ultimately it is the European sailors who have referred to it. It means Konark Sun Temple locations, the area beside the Konark Sun Temple. Okay, so the European sailors referred it as the Black Pagoda. Black Pagoda. So why European sailors called it as Black Pagoda? Okay, why? Because due to its dark color, at that location the color was actually dark. Dark means the water color was actually dark. Okay, the color of water at that location, at that navigational points, European sailors found that, seized that, look, this water is little bit dark. That why they called it as Black Pagoda. Okay, dark color water and its magnetic power that drew ships into the shore and caused shipwrecks. Now let's see what actually happens. See, if you are not a technical student, then you may get confused by this slide, but trust me, I will clear all the doubts relating to that slide. Trust me, stay with us. Let's see. Okay, let's see clearly. See, suppose it's a land. Okay, it's a land, and here it is the sea. Okay, sea means it is Indian Ocean. It is Indian Ocean. Fine, it is Indian Ocean. Just assume it is Indian Ocean. Fine, it is land. Which land? Konark town. It is Konark town. Okay, Konark. It is Konark. Okay, it is sea. So let's see what actually happened. Whenever European sailors, this is ships, just assume it is ship. So whenever European sailor traveling and going in the sea, they feel that beside the banks of this Konark town was the color of water was actually little bit dark. Okay, dark, comparatively, not fully dark. When you will read the geography, always it will be on the comparison. If there is something hot, then it is definitely compared hot with some other cold things. Okay, it may possible that the same hot thing, it will be termed as cold when we compare with some more hot things. So just comparison it. So European sailors feel that this location has water like some little bit dark, okay, in comparison with other parts of this sea. Fine. Apart from that, European sailors also feel that whenever their ships travel to this Konark town, near to this Konark Sun Temple, okay, near this Konark, assume that there is Konark Sun Temple. So when they see that here it is, whenever they will go through this location, this navigational point, then they feel that their ships will be withdrawn towards the area, automatically withdrawn. Why? There is a magnetic effect. I will teach you the whole things about magnetic effect in geography classes. Okay, just listen it, that due to magnetic effect, their ships will be little bit withdrawn towards this navigational points. Okay, that's why they call it as Black Pagoda. Black Pagoda. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now I will teach you that which king have ruled the dynasty. Okay, dynasty. Which dynasty have ruled this place? Okay. So have you heard about Ganga dynasty? Ganga dynasty in history. If you have not heard about, I will clear all those in whenever I will teach history classes. Okay, I am coming to geography, historical and economical classes very soon. Okay, very soon. Till 10 December I will complete the whole subject. It is my commitment. Now let's see. It is ultimately the Ganga dynasty who was ruling at the Konark town at that time. So now we will see some more facts about Ganga dynasty. Okay. So moving to the next slide. See, Konark Sun Temple that is situated in Konark town in the state of Odisha, read in this way, okay, is attributed to king. Attributed means just as attributed means if I am here, okay, and somebody has come and said that look, said I am attributing this marker to you, okay, that is attributing. So Konark Sun Temple is attributed to King Narsimha Deva I. Narasimha Deva I, remember this name. So actually Konark Sun Temple was attributed to Narasimha Deva I of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. Ganga dynasty was not only in the eastern side but also in the western side. So remember this fact. Konark Sun Temple is attributed means like Rajghat is attributed for whom? For it is ultimately the father of the nation, that is Mahatma Gandhi. In the same way, Konark Sun Temple is attributed to the King Narasimha Deva I. Okay, Narasimha Deva I. This is the most possible question which may ask any time by UPSC. Okay, even this year or any year. Till now it has not been asked. Okay, so is it attributed to the Narasimha Deva I of the Eastern Ganga dynasty? Question may confused by UPSC by giving the Western Ganga dynasty. So remember these kinds of facts. Okay, UPSC is generally doing it. Okay, you will read the whole things and you will understand that yes, I know the whole things. But when you sit in an examination, you may get confused. That's why I am picking each and every word so seriously that anyone should not lift any kinds of facts. Okay, so attributed to the Narasimha Deva I of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. Okay, Eastern Ganga dynasty about 1250 CE. CE means before Common Era. What is CE and AD? I will tell you all those in history. Okay, whenever I will tell the history classes. So ultimately this is the about the Ganga dynasty. More about Ganga dynasty I will teach you right now in other slides. So I hope this slide is clear to all of you that towards whom the Konark Sun Temple is attributed. So it is ultimately the Narasimha Deva I. And from which dynasty? Ganga dynasty. Which side? Eastern side, Eastern Ganga dynasty. Okay, not Western Ganga dynasty. So moving to the next slide. See, it is so an important and actually it is so an interesting topic. Okay, even have you heard of Kalinga? Kalinga, the fight between Magadha and Kalinga. So all are related. Okay, now let's see. The Eastern Ganga dynasty descended from Kalinga. Okay, means the Eastern Ganga dynasty was actually descended from Kalinga. Means Kalinga is one of the most important place in the history of India, situated in Odisha itself, in eastern side. Eastern, it's a part of Eastern Ganga dynasty. Kalanga and Magdavad. Have you heard about that? Raja Asoka. I will teach all those things in history classes. So the Eastern Ganga dynasty descended from Kalinga and they ruled modern day Odisha. Okay, modern day Odisha. What is modern day Odisha? That is actually in the previous time has been ruling by which one? Ganga dynasty, and their main center was Kalinga. Kalinga. Okay, and right now at the present western, some of the parts of West Bengal too. Okay, Andhra Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Like at the present situation, some of the parts of West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Okay, it all were not the whole Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal and Chhattisgarh. The present West Bengal, okay, and Chhattisgarh and Andhra Pradesh, some of the parts of West Bengal, Chhattisgarh and Andhra Pradesh have also been ruled by this Ganga dynasty, Eastern Ganga dynasty, and their main center was Kalinga. Okay, fine. So I hope this slide is clear to all of you. This is related with history. If I want to cover the facts related to Konark Sun Temple, then I can cover it in just 2 to 3 minutes. But it's not my work. Okay, it's not an SSC or something like that examination. It is not related with directly kinds of facts. Okay, fine. So I am moving to the next slide. See, the Eastern Ganga dynasty. So a question may come that Kalinga Nagar was the capital of Western Ganga dynasty. So no, Kalinga Nagar was the capital of Eastern Ganga dynasty. Okay, so their capital was Kalinga Nagar, not Kali Nagar, Kalinga Nagar, which is the modern Sri, hear this name, Sri Mukhalingam. The present time this is known as Sri Mukhalingam. Okay, Sri Mukhalingam. See, whenever you will get confused in any means full name, then you should write those names 4 to 5 times. After writing those names, you will never be confused about it. Okay, Sri Mukhalingam. So at that time, Eastern Ganga dynasty's capital was Kalinganagar, but at present time that Kalinganagar was actually at present time known as Sri Mukhalingam. Okay, in which district actually Sri Mukhalingam falls? In which district of Odisha? So in the district of Srikakulam district. Srikakulam district of Andhra Pradesh, not in Odisha. So see, here is a rare question. Okay, one of the most important question, maybe asked by UPSC anytime soon. As all of you know that Andhra Pradesh and Odisha share boundary with each other. Andhra Pradesh, when I will teach you the geography classes, I will tell you about the whole things, about the map of India and even the world map too. Okay, so just right now assume that it is the reality that Andhra Pradesh and Odisha share boundaries with each other. Fine. So there is a district in Andhra Pradesh, that district name is Srikakulam district. On that district actually a place is situated, that place is known as Mukhalingam. Okay, Mukhalingam, and that Mukhalingam at recent times, earlier past, was known as Kalinganagar, and Kalinganagar was the capital of Eastern Ganga dynasty. So if in this way you will read, then in your whole life you will never forget these kinds of facts. Okay, so I am moving to the next slide. Now see something more facts about Ganga dynasty. See, Ganga dynasty was much earlier dynasty before Akbars and Aurangzebs. It was much earlier. Okay, it's so important dynasty. Now let's see. The Ganga dynasty was founded by King Anantavarman Kodaganga. It's a little bit difficult name, but I hope you will get easily. See the name, Anantavarman Kodaganga. Anantavarman Kodaganga. Okay. So actually the Ganga dynasty, the real Ganga dynasty, I am not talking about eastern or west. The real Ganga dynasty was founded by Anantavarma Kodaganga. Anantavarma Kodaganga. Who is this? This person is actually the descendant of the Western Ganga dynasty. So now you can find out a question, okay, that who comes first, either Eastern Ganga dynasty or Western Ganga dynasty. So it is ultimately the Western Ganga dynasty. First of all, Western Ganga dynasty has been formed. After that, a person, a descendant from Western Ganga dynasty set up Eastern Ganga dynasty. Okay, and that person name is which one? Anantavarman Kodaganga. It has set up Eastern Ganga dynasty. So the founder of Eastern Ganga dynasty was Anantavarman Kodaganga. And who is Anantavarman Kodaganga? The descendant of the Western Ganga dynasty. Okay, and see, Western Ganga dynasty actually rules southern parts of the modern Karnataka. Okay, the Karnataka is situated in almost in the south parts of the India. Okay, south parts. So the southern parts of Karnataka, I am not talking about south parts of southern parts of India. See, Karnataka is itself situated in southern parts of India, but I am talking about southern parts of Karnataka. So Western Ganga dynasty actually at that time ruled southern parts of modern Karnataka state. Okay, modern Karnataka state from 4th century to the end of 10th century, and the Chola dynasty too. That region actually, the southern parts of Karnataka was actually ruled by also Chola dynasty. Fine. So I hope what is Chola, Chera, okay, Pandyas, I will cover all those things. Don't worry about it. I will cover all the topics related to the history. So I am moving to the next slide. Okay. Now it is also related with somehow Konarks and temple. A fair, a mela, that is Chandrabhaga Mela. Okay, Chandrabhaga Mela. So moving to the next slide, and we will see some details about Chandrabhaga Mela. See, the Chandrabhaga Mela is a popular festival of Odisha. A question is always regularly asking by UPSC. Actually, they will provide the name of a state, and they will provide the name of festival. They will provide the name of dancing. They will provide the name of any kinds of festival, dancing, music, and they will give the name of the states. Okay, and you have to matchly correct that statements. So this is really an important one for the preliminary exam. That Chandrabhaga Mela is mainly a popular festival of which state? It is the state of Odisha. Okay, see how I am going to connect the whole things with our current affairs. Okay, so I'm moving to the next slide about Chandrabhaga Mela itself. Chandrabhaga Mela, it is little with blurred, so I am trying to just rectifying it. Go to the previous slide and go to the next slide. Yes, thank you. Actually my cameraman is so expert. Okay, I'm really happy with him. So let's see. Actually Chandrabhaga Mela is celebrated on the 7th day of the month of Magha. Magha is actually a Hindu calendar month. Hindu calendar month. Okay. Chaitra is also a month. Okay. Sawan. Right now Sawan is ongoing on. Okay. Sawan. So in Hindu mythology, months has been calculated in different names. Okay. Chaitra. Right now its month is going on Savana. Okay. So in the same way, Magha is a month. Magha. Okay, we call in local language as Magh. Okay, so in Magha, so it is celebrated on the 7th day of the initiation of the month of Magha. Which Mela? Chandrabhaga Mela. Where it is celebrated? It is celebrated in Odisha. And also called as, this festival is also called as, which festival? Chandrabhaga festival. Chandrabhaga Mela is also called as Magha Saptami Mela. So instead of giving the Chandrabhaga Mela, UPSC may give you Magha Saptami Mela. Okay, this is one of the most preferable questions. So the Chandrabhaga Mela is also called as Magha Saptami Mela because on the Magha month, on the 7th day of Magha month, it is being celebrated. So the Magha Saptami Mela it is also called. Okay, and it usually falls in the month of February. Okay, so you can see in Hindu mythology the month is Magha, and in the English language calendar, okay, the calendar of we are regularly following, that is in February. Okay, so almost in the month of February it falls, the month Magha according to Hindu mythology falls. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Yeah, this topic is clear. This topic is over. Another topic I will take only 5 to 8 minutes. This is a real important one, really important one, because this geographical indication tag related. Okay, and it is related with Kashmir. So it's become more important. So I will take another 5 to 8 minute classes. Okay, and I will cover this. So it is about Kashmir saffron. Saffron means I am not talking about the color saffron color. Okay, Kashmir saffron. So moving to the next slide, and that will tell you some deep things about Kashmir saffron. See, Kashmir saffron, which is cultivated and harvested in the Karewa highland. Highland means not hills. Highland means not hills. Highlands actually those which are little bit at higher locations than mainlands, and those are flat lands located at higher position than lands, but not like hills. Okay, not like hills. Actually those are like the plain ones. Okay, those are highlands. Fine. So it is cultivated and harvested. Kashmir saffron is a product. Okay, is a product, one of the most eligible product throughout the world. Okay, it is also cultivated in Iran. Okay, Iran is the largest one, but the Kashmir saffron is the most important saffron. It is also divided in 3 subcategories saffron. I will cover all those 3, but right now just understand it. Kashmir saffron is cultivated and harvested in the Karewa. Okay, remember this name, Karewa highlands. Karewa is a highland of Jammu and Kashmir, has been given the geographical indication tag. Since it got the geographical indication tag, that's why it's become so important for UPSC examination, because each and every year UPSC will ask one question related with 100% sure. UPSC will ask one question 100% sure with geographical indication tag. Geographical indication means any kinds of products related to particular any geographical location. Okay, that's why that is called geographical indication tag. So Kashmir saffron got geographical indication tag in the Karewa district, cultivated and harvested in Karewa district. So I hope it is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see, students. Saffron cultivated is believed to have been introduced in Kashmir by Central Asian immigrants around 1st century BC. Look, this is so a historical one. It is understandable that it is termed that the starting phase of cultivating of saffron has been introduced in India itself, has been introduced in Kashmir itself the first time. And by whom? It is understandable that it is by Central Asian immigrants. Okay, those who has been traveled from Central Asia to Kashmir. Okay, actually those are the persons who were starting the cultivation of saffron, Kashmir saffron in Kashmir. Okay, around 1st century BCE, before Common Era. So see how this is going to be so much historical. Okay, so I am moving to the next slide. See, in ancient Sanskrit literature, saffron is referred to as bahukam. Bahukam. This question may be asked in art and culture. Okay, in Sanskrit literature, ancient Sanskrit literature, this Kashmiri saffron is was called as bahukam. Okay, bahukam. So remember this fact. So I am moving to the next slide. Now let's see. Iran is currently at present time, Iran is currently the largest producer of the saffron, not Kashmir saffron. Kashmir saffron is a separate saffron. Saffron are of different kinds. Kashmir saffron is itself divided in 3 kinds of saffron. Okay, and the saffron that is cultivated and harvested in Iran, that is different saffron. But the most important one saffron is Kashmir saffron. Okay, so let's see. Right now, currently Iran is the largest producer of saffron in the world, cultivating over 300 tons every year, or about 300 tons saffron has been cultivated and produced by Iran on each and every year. So I hope who is the largest producer of saffron? Okay, so it is ultimately the Iran. So I am moving to the next slide. Okay, yeah, types of saffron in Kashmir. Now moving to the next one, and we will see some types of there are 3 types of saffron in Kashmir. Okay, I will tell all those 3 parts. So moving to the next slide. See, the first saffron, Kashmiri saffron, is called as Laksha saffron. Okay, Laksha saffron. The second one is Mogra saffron. Okay, Mogra saffron. And the last one, that is Gucci saffron. So these are the 3 names, that is the Kashmiri saffron, types of Kashmiri saffrons, that is Laksha saffrons, okay, Mogra saffrons and Gucci saffrons. So I hope you should remember all these 3 names: Laksha, Mogra and Gucci. Laksha, Mogra and Gucci saffron. These are the 3 types of Kashmiri saffron. Okay, which one? Laksha, Mogra and Gucci. Okay, Gucci. So I hope these are clear to all of you. So if any slide remaining, I will cover, otherwise I will finish here itself. So it's over, students. Okay, so I have covered 2 important topics of current affairs related to art and culture. Okay, both are one of the most important topics. Okay, so we will meet tomorrow again. Okay, and we will go with another topics. So thank you. We will meet again soon. Thank you so much.